child is appearing for any important exams, it's not just the child who is preparing for the exams, but the parents are also equally concerned and involved. In today's Edu Talks, we are featuring Sowmya Sivasankar from Bangalore. Sowmya works in a software company and her son Sanjay studies in Sri Sri Ravishankar Vidyamandir. Sanjay is appearing for board exams. He's in grade 10th. And in today's interview, we will talk to Soumya on multiple topics as whether how she is managing her work, her son's studies, and how she is working to create a positive environment for her son. So let's begin. Welcome to the show, Soumya, and it's indeed a pleasure to have you here today. And a very warm welcome to you. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very good. Thanks for inviting me for this show. And I'm very happy to be with you for this interview.
It's always a pleasure. So, Soumya, like Sanjay is appearing for his 10th board exams, and there must be so many things going on in your mind and all. So, that's what we want to discuss in this interview today. And I would like to know, as a parent, what is going on in your mind when your son is appearing for the board exams?
Wonderful question, actually. So to be very open, a lot of questions, lot of confusions, and as a parent, a lot of apprehensions, right? So this is the first time the child is going to take up the exam, and how is it going to be? Is it going to be tough, or it's going to be another easy paper? And considering the COVID scenario for the last couple of years, this is the first exam, in fact, after the COVID. Even the last year exam was only partial, and this is the first time they're going to do a complete exam. So many questions in the mind. So I would say that it's a mixed emotion, a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts in the mind, and a lot of process going on in both our minds, thinking on how it is going to be. Is it going to be easy, or it's going to be a difficult paper, and how we're going to crack it and things like that. But otherwise, on the other hand, we are really happy to take this as a challenge and do our best. I think as a mother and as parents, we need to be with them whole through the journey, let them do their best and leave the rest. So that's it.
That's a wonderful thing. That was really great to hear about it. So, Samya, I would like to know more, like, how is the environment in your home right now? Like, when it's like a curfew state where, you all are alert because the exams are there, or it's like liberal. How is it going on?
It's peaceful environment, no worries. Though there is a lot of confusion as far as studies is concerned, but I think as far as the environment is concerned, I think it's the first important thing that we need to give them, right? So we are okay as far as his studies is concerned. Whatever he does and whatever he wants to do in the future, we are going to be with him, and we are going to be supporting him in all his decisions and whole through the career. So I am open for any subject or any group that he's going to take, and marks doesn't matter to me. It is just what he learns. That's it. So it is just the taboo that we have all through as a tradition, right? So when it's a board exam, automatically the pressure builds up, and automatically the stress is there, both on the parents and the children. So that is all there. It is all there. It happens. Nobody can stop it. But still, beyond that, I keep telling him that it is okay. Whatever you do, that is your best. Put your honest effort, do your best, and that will really help you to find out where you stand. That is it.
That's wonderful. I completely agree on this. Marks is not everything. Actual learning should happen. So that's really nice. And Samya, you yourself is you're working professional. Then how do you meet with these challenges? You have your work commitments also. You have your exams, your son, your daughter's responsibility, family's responsibility. How do you manage all these things?
Just the matter of planning. It is yet another project management over here. So I have a big Excel which will say what time we have to prepare for what, and so it's just the timetable that we do, and we try to stick to it, at least, if not completely stick to it. Usually we put the timetable and we do something else, but that's what happens now also. But we try to stick to it, and it's all about planning, Devanshi. It is more like I have already had discussions with my own teams in the office, and I've told them, so this is how I can contribute in the next couple of months or in the last couple of months, and they also agreed to it. It was a very good support that I got from my office and from my home as well. So that is the main thing, that I'm able to really focus so much on him and sit along with him, try to understand concepts, and ensure that he understands not just mug up concepts, just understand and go back and apply it. So that is what we do. So it is all about planning. It is to answer to your question, it's just plan what you need to do. So, have some time for everything. So that is the way I do it.
Yes, so Samir, when we talk about planning, what happens that in a house, everyone will be their father, mother, grandparents, everyone. But when it comes about the responsibilities, mother's role will be little different than that. So when you're talking about this timetable and planning, will it apply to each and every member of your family, or it's just like
Absolutely not.
because
Absolutely
Sanjay,
not. I can't do that with my daughter because she has her own schedule and she's on her own and she does her learning on her own. So I can't change all the other people in the house. So all we can do is I can manage my time, I can manage the cooking time, and I can manage the time that I can spend with the child. I can manage my office time. So this is what I change my routine to, stick to what I can do best for the child to prepare for the exam. So that is it.
yeah, and so like always, it happens that I have seen, like in my case also, like we'll have our own specialization. Like if I'm good with languages and my husband is good with maths and other subjects, we'll divide the subjects. Okay, you guide child for all these subjects, and my husband would guide for different subjects. So do you have anything at your home also where you and your husband have divided the subjects and you're guiding Sanjay accordingly?
Yeah, for some time he was taking up social, history, geography, and also economics and not geography, economics and what is the other subject? So there was one more, the four out political science. So of these are some of the subjects that he used to take care of in the past. But right now, in the last leg of the board exam, I am sitting on these subjects as well, just to ensure that we are wrapping up the entire exam with all the important questions, question papers, and things like that. But otherwise, my area of interest is science mostly. And maths, I'm not really good at. So we've put him on tuitions for maths and English and Sanskrit. He's doing it on his own. Computer science also, he will be doing it on his own. So only for science and maths, there is some support required. So that is where we sit with him and help him out. And social, my husband does.
Okay, that's
So that's
very
how
nice.
it is.
So, something like what is Sanjay's state of mind right now? As a family, parents, tutors, we all are supporting him, but he is the center of the attention right now. Everyone is thinking about him, how he is taking up his exams and all. How is he dealing with it?
He's super cool. You would have seen Sanjay. He's super cool. He's still going out and playing. He's still continuing his routine to spend some time for himself, play outside. Though we go back and say no, can you please focus on some studies? But yeah, that break is also required. So he needs that break, and whenever he gets a break, he goes down to play for some time. And he's actually a child who is very happy, always very happy, very contented. He's not stressed, or probably I don't know how stressed he is, or he doesn't show it out to us, but he's not really stressed. So he's cool. He's such a person that he will take what comes to him. So he will not be too worried about what is going to happen in future and things like that. So he's putting his best of his effort. So that's the maximum that we expect from him. So that's what he's doing.
Okay. So after talking to you, I can feel that the environment at your home is really cool. Even Sanjay is taking it as in a very positive manner. But any moment or somewhere, somewhere where you would have instances where you had to be strict, or you realize that no, he needs to change something, and you would have felt, little angry or little upset or something. Anything like that? Did you, feel?
Every day this happens, huh? Not just 1 or 2 days. So it is the parents' tension, right? So though we say that mark doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, it is all there. I still don't mind. But what I go back and tell him is, you put your 100%, put your honest effort. So when you don't put your honest effort is when we get, on the nerves, and then say, hey, why don't you put your effort a bit more? So that's the most important thing that he needs to do from his end. So it doesn't matter even if he scores less, or it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out great. But what really matters is, have you put your 100%? Have you really worked to ensure that you're facing a board exam? And, so that will help him to do a similar exercise in the future also. It may be an interview tomorrow. So how to face such a scenario is just to put your 100% effort, do your best, and later on, whatever happens, take it as a learning. So that is what it is. But what happens sometimes is, when we want them to study, they don't really put their effort. They want to play. They want to go out and, chill with the friends around and, spend some time. Yes, that is also there. You need the break and you need to spend some time. But it all depends on how much time you spend. How do you balance both studies as well as playing. So if you study for 2 hours, put your full focus for 2 hours or something, you need a break for 30 minutes. Yes, I agree. So that is definitely accepted and agreed also. But sometimes we need to go on nerves because it is like, we have some expectations, and when that is not met,
Give them that
then that
push.
is when you tend to push. Okay, you need to put your strict words to ensure that that happens. So that is when it happens like that. But I wouldn't say that I don't do that at all. I am strict. But at the same time, I tell him this as well. Even yesterday, I was telling him, it doesn't matter, Sanjay. Even if you score low, I'm not going to, be worried about it, because all that matters is you need to figure out a way to find a career for yourself. That is it. So try to get there. That is most important than the marks. So it doesn't mean that someone who is getting very high score in the 10th standard or the 12th standard is going to shine and all the other folks are not going to. It's absolutely not that way. And I am a very average student, maybe just above average. I was not even 80% in my 10th standard. I just got 67% or something. And then even in my 12th standard. But today I have a good career, so I'm very happy with what I'm doing. So marks doesn't matter. So all you need to do is put your effort and wait for the best results.
You yourself is an inspiration for your child and family, Soumya. So, like in this process, when he was preparing for his 10th and all, what were the moments where he enjoyed learning, learning in the real sense, where, okay, these were the subjects he enjoyed, or this kind of study material or the work he enjoyed doing it? What would you like to say on that?
See, as far as enjoyment from studies perspective, I think this question will be better answered by my son than myself. But what I
Okay.
feel is his enjoyment is more when he's doing something on his own and he's getting a result and he sees an instant result, he feels very happy. He's a very
Mhm.
satisfied child. So it is not that, he never feels bad that he's not doing well or something, or so he's always satisfied. Even if he does 5 sums out of 10 sums correctly, he will feel very happy. So he enjoys that. So he's happy child all the time. So, and he feels good whenever he does something and the result is matching with what it has to be. He feels good. So that is what he is.
That's very important, because when child have this kind of nature, no, they'll learn to accept failures also, because we are not going to get success all the time. But that
Absolutely.
pushes them to, okay, we have to do something, we have to try it again and again. So,
Absolutely.
and, yeah, Soumya, like, what is your take on, school's contribution in studies? Do you really feel that in whatever school he was going to has given its best, and they have contributed really well in shaping up the boy, shaping up Sanjay or his studies, and they have helped him in growing?
Absolutely. The school has done a wonderful job, no regrets at all. They're doing their best. They have been giving a lot of assignments, assessments, and a lot of worksheets, and so much of practice, right? Basically, it is math is all about practicing. So that kind of a practice they have been giving all through the year. And I don't have any regrets about the school. It's a wonderful school, and I feel every teacher takes their ownership in ensuring the child is doing their best, and they give the right feedback. So very constructive feedback. They don't put anybody down, but they give a very constructive feedback in terms of which area this child needs to improve in order to get better. So how to focus and how to score more marks, by putting a little bit of more effort, and how to get better in every exam. So that is what they have been doing constantly, and all the feedbacks were extremely useful. So that is what I feel.
That's very good. When school is giving this kind of efforts, it will definitely help the child in progressing. And so one more thing I would like to know that, when Sanjay is studying or when he's doing any subjects or the activities and all, is he doing it independently, or usually you prefer to, supervise, or you just allow him to do it? Okay, whatever you're doing, you manage it. Or like us, we talk about helicopter parenting. So do you feel that, have you ever done that, or you just, okay, you just observe it and you allow him to do it on his own?
I do both actually. Sometimes I sit with him, showcase the concept, explain how it works, and then give him some sample sums and allow him to do. And then I will assess that and then give him a feedback saying, this is where you went right and this is how good it looks. But these are some of the areas that you need to change so that you get much better. So I do both actually, but he needs some support because especially in math, right? So when it gets more and more complex and when they twist the questions, that is when he get confused. So that is where I need to really be around and support, for this sum, this is how it works, or this question, this is how it works. So that kind of a conceptual understanding I give with with him, and then some extra sample sums. Try these sums and see if it is matching with this particular concept, and then try to put it on your own, solve on your own, and show me the results. So that's how we do.
That's really great. As a parent, sometimes we need to balance it. We need to be harsh also at the same time. We need to be at the softer side also for them.
To be very open, no, I have learned much more than what I learned when I was in my 10th
Okay,
standard.
when you were in
That's the
because you were
reality.
also appearing passively, you're appearing for the exams.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is, see, the truth is when you really prepare for your own exam, you don't really put your 100%, or maybe we don't really understand at that time. But then after a couple of years, when you sit and learn it for the second time, that is when we ourselves realize, oh, okay, this is how it was. And maybe now I'm understanding it better. So that's the way it is.
Yes. I always feel that, with age, it will become easier for us to understand the
Correct.
concepts and everything. And for child, it will be challenging at that age, and we'll realize
Absolutely.
it later on. So,
Absolutely.
one more thing I would love to know, that what is your take on today's education system? Like, your daughter is also studying in and other grades, and your son is appearing for the 10th. So are you satisfied with whatever content, they are studying, or do you feel that any kind of changes should be there?
Okay, good question. Wonderful question, actually. So contented in some areas, and in some areas, I surely feel there is a need for a change. So, for example, math and science, I think it's really good. I mean, the way the subject is created, or the way the curriculum is created, and the way the questions are asked, the way they create the blueprint, basically. So, it is more of application oriented. It is more of competency based, and all combinations are there in the question paper. So in order to assess, it is not just one area or one criteria that they have for assessment. It is more like how you understand the concept, how you mug up the formulas, how you apply it somewhere, how you realize the value of how, post the application, how do you realize the value of it. So all the things are there in the question paper. If you see the blueprint, it's really good. The CBSE, the way the blueprint is created, I appreciate. Maths and science, it is wonderful. And English and Sanskrit, I don't sit with them much, so I don't know too much about these two subjects, basically. But what I feel is it is all comprehension based. There is a set of paragraph in the question paper, and then you read through it and you answer. So that is a language test, right? So typically, how you understand, how you comprehend, and then how you respond. So that is how English and Sanskrit is, which is also good. So the where we feel, or where I feel is too overwhelming, is social science, because it is really massive. So we have close to 22 to 25 lessons in all the 4 papers put together, history, geography, political science, and economics together, which is way too much. I feel that this can be reduced a lot. At least in terms of the width of it, or maybe the depth of it, they can consider reducing this a bit more, so that maybe after 10th standard, if someone wants to pursue their career in that area, they can go to that depth. That can be reduced a lot, because what I personally feel is more energy is going into these areas than in the rest of the core subjects. Because you need to remember lots. The rest of the things is like you understand, you apply, it is okay. Here, a lot of dates you need to remember, a lot of events that took place in the past you need to remember, you need to relate it, and you need to answer those questions. So I feel that is a bit overwhelming for a 10th standard student. Maybe there are kids who are enjoying that also. So it depends on the individual.
And their area of interest. Maybe some would be good with languages or maths, so they
Absolutely.
find those subjects easier to deal with.
It is completely the area of interest. I know some kids are really interested in that, and they love to do what it is all about, right? So that since that area of interest is not very much towards the subject, we feel, oh my God, there's a lot to study. So that's how it is.
Yes. Something, one very important thing I would love to know, whenever I deal with parents, day-to-day basis, I meet so many parents, and we all have done specialization, right? Like, you are an engineer, or I am working as a journalist or as an educator. So I chose a subject which was my specialty. But when it comes to child education or his mark sheets, we expect child to have, good marks in all the subjects. You already said that you are not behind the marks and all, but as a parent, we definitely want, a good progress card. So what would you like to comment on it, that we ourselves are not specialized in multiple subjects, we have chosen one for us, then why that expectation is there from the child that he or she has to be good in all of the subjects?
I'm not for that for sure, because I
Yeah,
know it is not going to happen. Even if I take up the exam tomorrow, I may even fail in math. Okay, so I can't comment on that. So that's how. See, it all depends. We will grow eventually. So one day or other, they will figure out what is their area of interest, and they will figure out how they can pursue their career in that area.
correct.
Most of the time, what happens, we learn something and we work on something else, and then after 10 years or 15 years, you really go back and realize, what did I do when I was learning? Why did I learn this? Frankly, I have never used any concepts that I have studied in my BSc physics until
Yeah,
today. I still wonder, why did I do BSc physics? But I just did it. So that is how it is. So at least what I tell my kids is, doesn't matter. So do what you want to do and try to do some work which is close to what you're studying so that you enjoy what you're doing. That is it. So because we never know what we study today, we may or may not apply. I have
correct.
never applied. I was talking to one of my colleague or one of my friend in the past. I used to say, all these trigonometric sums. There is a tall building, someone standing on top. You have an angle of elevation. You have angle. Too many jargons, right? But finally, after you finish all the score great marks, and 10 years down the line, if you go ask someone, did you ever use any of the concept in your life? I would say no. I did not use. Maybe I don't know. I may be wrong as well. Maybe people who are in engineering fields would have used it, and they would have really made use of all those concepts that they have learned, but I did not get a chance to do that. So what I say to the kids is, it is still okay, learn what you can and do your best, and later try to align with what you have learned. The work that you do, if it is just not aligning with what you have learned, then it is a complete change of, I mean, like, I don't know how to comment on that, because it all depends. It all depends. Some people are lucky to work in the area they learned, but some people are not really. So whatever I learned in my PG, I'm still applying that. At least I feel that okay, I'm applying what I have learned. But most of the cases, after you finish your degree 10 years down the line, if you turn back and see, are you applying what you have learned? I would say only very few percentage of it, or
I
maybe I have chosen a field which is not in that area. So that is what I would say.
That's the reason, we can, focus more on skill development rather than scoring marks or just, counting the subjects, what all subjects we have studied and all. So your
Absolutely.
answers are so impressive, Soumya, that I'm really, I don't feel like ending this conversation. I still would love to go into flashback, Soumya. Just remember the days when you were in 10th or when you were giving your board exams. How was the scenario at that time? How you were treated and how is it different now? Do you feel any difference?
Okay. When I did my 10th standard, I used to have total freedom. My family was like, they used to trust on me so much. Nobody used to come and sit with me for studies, or maybe if I want some help. Language is the only thing where I used to go back to my mom to support, because Tamil used to be very difficult. So she used to support me in language. But apart from that, I never had anybody to sit with me to do explain the concepts, or there was absolutely no pressure that I need to score 80 plus, 90 plus. No such expectations. It was full freedom, completely forward minded family, and they let me do what I wanted. There was absolutely no pressure for me when I did my 10th. But at least if I turn back and compare that with what I'm doing today, I am putting pressure actually to ensure that, he learns what he has to. But again, I'm insisting on the point that it is still okay. It doesn't matter. One day you will figure out what you want to do, and that day you will really do it with passion. So until that day, continue to find what you want to do. That is it.
See, Sanjay is a blessed child to have a parent like who
No, no,
has
you ask him. He will have a different perspective. So
so
it's
that will be there with all the child, but when we see on day-to-day basis the kind of pressure and everything the child is feeling, but after talking to you, I really feel great that or you don't have that thing. Okay, this is the board exams, and we have to act as a warrior, and we have to do this and that.
no,
I
we're
could
doing
feel.
that also. I wouldn't say I'm not doing. We're doing that also, but as an end result, I'm ready to accept. I'm ready
Accept.
to
Yes,
accept.
that is
That
big
is it.
thing.
So
But
it
do
is
you
more the attitude that needs to be grown. The good attitude to learn and the attitude to accept and agree where you stand and work on what you need to improve. So this is what we need to do rather than waging a war against the exam and sitting and fighting. We're doing that also. We're doing this second half also. But I'm keeping on insisting on the other point also. It is still fine. I'm going to let you take whatever group you want to. Do your best. That is it.
So do you think, Soumya, sometimes, we try to be a strict parent, sometimes we try to be a liberal parent, and sometimes, when we are in a very good mood, we'll tell our child, see, you just do hard work, we'll accept whatever result you get, or you have to give your 100%. But do you think that, the child is getting an indirect message that, okay, it's okay if, they are going to accept it, whatever I do, or they are, getting more motivated when you're pushing them, no, you have to do this, you have to study it. So how do you see this situation?
It is actually both. That is why I'm saying today's generation is not like what it was when we were doing. We were self-responsible. That self-responsibility is certainly missing. So that is when you want to push hard and be a very strict mom or a strict parent to go behind them to do their work. So to me, it is more like, when you don't complete what you're supposed to complete, that is when I get irritated. So this is what your teacher says you need to complete today. But you feel it is okay. I can do this tomorrow or day after. So this habit will continue throughout your life. That is when I say, hey, you're supposed to complete this. You complete it. That is when I push hard. The compliance, at least have the basic compliance. This is what you need to finish. You ensure you finish. If you're really putting your effort and you're not able to finish, that is okay. You can learn. But sometimes I need to be very harsh or strict when you're supposed to do something and then you don't do that. And it is very easy to do also, but you just don't do because you're lazy and you don't mind. It is okay and it is fine not to do. So that is the most irritating thing. So that is what I don't want to happen. So you had asked me a question like, is there a war zone happening in your house? That is also happening. That is because of this scenarios. Like, you are supposed to finish this topic in say 2 hours, but you know very well that it is easy to finish it in 2 hours. But when you don't do it, that is wrong. So that is the difference between that self responsibility has to come. It will come eventually. So we are fighting only on those areas where your self responsibility, doing it all by yourself, grooming yourself, and identifying where I need to improve and then working on that by yourself. So all this is what I feel that the next gen has to improve on.
So, I mean, there is a lot to learn from you, and the way you have shared your views and everything, I really appreciate it. There are so many points. As a parent, we need to create boundaries sometimes, and sometimes we need to give them that liberty also. So it's always a difficult path to walk, and we try our best to manage that. And it was wonderful talking to you, Soumya. These are the questions I wanted to ask you, and I'm so happy and satisfied with your answer. Before we end this interview, Soumya, I would like to have one amazing message for all the parents whom you would like to say something whose children are appearing for these board exams, and what would you like to tell them?
I'm not sure if I'm the right person to give a message to everybody,
No, as
but
a parent, you are the person who can, share your views with other parents.
as a parent, what I feel is, uh, set the boundaries. Yes, that is true. At the same time, give them the space and the freedom to do their best, and let them fall, let them get up, let them find out their way. They will figure out a way in futures. Give that opportunity for them to learn, and it is okay. It doesn't matter. Mark doesn't matter, and all that matters is the right attitude. Put the 100%. Give your best and go appear for the exam with your best. And the best need not be shown in the mark as a best mark, or there are kids who are doing that as well. So we should, as parents, we shouldn't pressurize them on that area, but pressurize only to put the best effort. That is it. That is what I feel from my perspective. So whatever happens after the board exam, it is not under our control. It is just the matter of you need to wait and watch types. So considering all that, they need to understand what they need to put, from their side, what is their responsibility, what they need to do to face this exam. So that part, if they are putting their 100%, the rest of the things will surely fall in place. And no matter whether they score high or whether they score low, it really doesn't matter. There are people who are shining through the fog. It is like even without scoring high, there are people who are really doing well in their career. And even after scoring so high in 10th and 12th grade, there are people who are doing average in their career. So it is all the, it is more like how we say the right time, right job, right role types. So it is like how you learn eventually in your life and how you find yourself a good career path. So that is what matters. So pressure is required in some areas, and freedom is also required in some areas. So accept what they get. So that is what is a message. So don't be too harsh, don't be too light also. It is like everything is required, but with its own lines of boundary.
I'm sure
That's what I
this, because ultimately what we all want is we want our children to be happy in whatever things they are doing. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So one very, very last thing, Soumya, we Indian parents, we hardly use, so many good words for our children. We are always there to scold them as and when needed. But, if you have to, let's keep it as a surprise for Sanjay. Best wishes for Sanjay. If you have to wish him for his exams and all, and you want to have some good things about him, what would you like to say?
A lot of good things about him. He's a very
You can directly address it to Sanjay. So when he's watching this, he'll be feeling very happy that, okay, my mama is telling it to me.
Definitely, definitely. Sanjay is such a child that he loves to do a lot of good things for his parents. He will never forget to gift us for our birthdays or anniversaries. And he's such a child that he wants to impress us all through his life. That's what he is. And he's a very happy child. Come what may. Even if I scold him, no, next 10 minutes, he will be the first person to come back to me and ask me what I should do next. So he's like that. So to Sanjay, the message that I would like to give is put your 100%. Whatever you're doing, I know you're doing your best. You're putting your honest effort. So beyond that, if you put some more percentage of effort, it will really take you heights. And marks doesn't matter still, and you can really do well. So that's the message that I want to give to Sanjay. And I will accept whatever he does, and I am ready to support whatever he does. So that is what I feel that I should give him as a message.
That's so nice. I'm sure that he'll be very happy to hear this. And Edu Talks also, because, sharing her best wishes to Sanjay. I know how wonderful he is because I remember during COVID time when we were in our house and that boy was waving at me that auntie, you'll be all right. And also he's a kind-hearted person and we all wish him good luck. And yes, I have planned to have him also here on the show so I can discuss more with him and his friends. Thank you so much for all your time and wonderful views, Soumya. We are glad that you took time out of your busy schedule and you came here to share your views with us.
Thank you so much, Devanshi. The pleasure is mine, and I thoroughly enjoyed the whole show. And I'm so happy that we are talking today, and it was a very good experience to share my feelings also. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you so much, Soumya, and we'll end our conversation here. Hope to catch up with you again some other time. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Same to you. Bye bye.